Dia nyerang gue terus nih. Lu yang nyuruh ya? Wah, udah sakit-sakit disuruh begini. Nih, Pak, bapak-bapak, saya sakit nih. Tapi asal masuk saya ke sini, terpaksa saya datang. Abis itu dikebukin kayak gini. Awas tuh.
It's okay. I want to talk
Dia nggak
about...
ngerti ini. Dia ngerti nggak? Dia nggak ngerti kan? Kita kipirin aja dia. Sorry.
It's okay. I'd like to talk about...
Do you understand Indonesia?
I understand Bahasa. Yeah. Nggak apa, Pak. Nggak apa. Let's talk about the Indonesian rupiah.
Rupiah?
Yes. At the lowest level, this is the... Are you comfortable with the weakness in the currency?
Do you understand the one only role of our central bank? To control the stability of the currency, not me. You should ask our central banker.
As a finance minister, are you comfortable with the level of the currency?
I think it's too low compared to its fundamental. If you take a look at the regional currency, Thailand baht, Malaysian ringgit, Singapore dollar, Vietnam, everybody is strengthening toward the dollar, while at the same time my currency getting not so. But the central bank, I believe, has enough knowledge to control that. I don't believe the current operation of the currency will create a 90, 97, 98 crisis style. They are smart enough. And we have now a KSSK committee, special committee. I'm the chairman, I'm the member of the committee at the Central Bank, Minister of Finance, LPS, IDIC, Indonesia Deposit Company, and our FSA or Jakarta. If the condition is getting too worse than we think, we need to take action. I will trigger a meeting and mitigate the impact of the dollar increase to our currency in a very serious way. Right now it's threatening, but not it's only 70%, but not to the level, to the extent that it will create chaotic condition in our economy. But next time we should ask our central bank.
I'm just curious at what rupiah level would prompt you to take measures to mitigate the weakness? At what rupiah level would you be concerned it would impact the macroeconomics of Indonesia?
No, Indonesia is weird.
Pak, bisa mikrofonnya?
Di sini. Do re mi fa sol la sini penyanyi. Kayak penyanyi nih. Of course, when rupiah moved toward the 17,000, we had meeting our central banker and discussed the best way to ensure that the rupiah is not surpassing the 17,000 level. Because Indonesia, even though economically 17,000 will not create a crisis, but we are afraid, most of our population afraid, if the rupiah is weakening too much, they will remember 97, 97, 98 crisis again. It will create psychological effect to our population. So we try to push, the central bank has been trying to push the rupiah to below 17,000, and the proper level for me is in line with our budget assumption, that is around 16,500 rupiah per dollar.
When do you see the rupiah strengthening, and what might help the rupiah strengthen from here?
When everybody realized that I'm conducting a serious work in improving our economic condition, and when they started to see that the economy is really improving, capital will flow into the economy, and the rupiah will strengthen almost automatically. So my plan, my game is to make sure that the fundamental of the economy strengthen at a much faster rate, and we create a much faster growth rate, and our population get more and more wealthier. But capital will flow automatically into the economy, and rupiah will strengthen. So FDI come to the country not to build the country. They want to come to the country to taste the growth of our economic cake, something like that. That's always my theory. Nobody wants to build my country. We are. But everybody wants to taste the profit from an economic growth, something like that. That will trigger the FDI to come to the country and the strengthening of the Rupiah at the same time.
You say that the Rupiah is currently not reflecting fundamentals, that it is currently undervalued. If it's reflecting fundamentals of the Indonesian economy, what level should it be? What is fair value for the Rupiah right now?
I told you 16,500, but you're not satisfied currently. I think right now going towards 15,000 to the dollar it will be not that difficult. If I cannot talk on behalf of the central bank, but if I were in that position, that level won't be that difficult to be attained, considering the strengthening of the local regional currency, the Rupiah, the Malaysia, Singapore, and the Thai baht, and the Vietnam dong. So we are kind of outlier right now. To me, it's a bit weird, but it's not my job. It's our central bank's job to ensure that Rupiah is aligning with other countries in the other countries' currency in the region.
Some suggest that the weakness in the currency.
Serius banget ya, dia mau nyari soal gua terus nih. Ini ujian atau gimana nih? Ini ujian Menteri ya? Lolos apa?
Minister, some suggest that the weakness in the currency reflects the lack of confidence in the current government. How do you respond to that?
It's not properly said, but if I say it openly, it will open weaknesses of someone that I don't want to do. To me, the room for central bank to create a strong Rupiah is very, very easy. You know, October, November, December, January, we experience capital inflow. Theoretically, the net capital inflow. Theoretically, the Rupiah should strengthen. But I don't know why it's weakened. You should ask our central bank. It must be their policy to weaken it a bit. Is there any central banker here? Ada dari BI nggak? Jadi kalau ini ada rekam ya? Boleh ngomong nggak? That's my political answer.
Let's talk about the fiscal deficit cap. Currently stands at 3%. Last year, government spending pushed it to 2.9%, quite close to the max. 2.92, very close to the cap.
But they're not at 2.88 yet, probably.
There's a lot of speculation, and there's even suggestion from the likes of Citi, saying Citibank.
Economist from Citibank?
Yes.
He's not a real economist, he's only a master. We should ask a PhD to answer that question.
Suggesting that perhaps you will move your cap beyond 3%. Is there a chance of that happening?
I'm the minister, not him. I understand fiscal policy very, very, very well. I learned from the bench, from everybody in the world about fiscal policy. The reason why last year we pushed the deficit towards the boundary of 3%, because the economy has been slowing since the beginning of the year, maybe since 2024. Deliberately slowed down by our policymaker at that time, and the economy is moving downward. If you learn economy properly, in a downturn, the government should create a counter-cyclical policy to ensure that the downturn is not becoming a recession. We did that. We expanded our fiscal. We give stimulus to the economy to make sure that the economy is returning like that, and it happened. in September that we managed to turn around the economic direction. September, October, November until now. So we pushed the deficit toward the boundary, but at the same time we managed to limit the deficit not surpass the 3% level. This is funny. We are successful in creating a turnaround, but at the same time we managed the 3% level. That's a work of an expert. I don't want to, in the future, I don't want to surpass the 3% level because people like you, media, will crucify me and tell everybody that I don't know my job. He's a full minister or something like that. No, I don't want to play around with that for the time being. But I'm using other instruments to ensure that we can create a faster economic growth. We will still use the government budget to promote the economic growth, but we understand the limit. What's the deficit to GDP ratio in Singapore now? Deficit to GDP ratio in Singapore?
No, frankly.
Maybe close to 3%. How about the US? 5%. How about Japan? Maybe 4%. So everybody has surpassed them. How about countries in Europe? Almost 4%, 5%. We are conducting a much better fiscal policy compared to US, Japan, European country. Yet at the same time, we managed to create a turnaround in the economic direction. Pintar apa?
So even if growth comes under pressure, Bob, even if growth were to disappoint, you will maintain your 3% count. Is that correct?
Why do you think growth will be disappointing?
It's a lot of uncertainty.
I'm working together with our central bank. They are creating enough liquidity in our financial system, which have never occurred over the last 10 years. And we are improving our investment climate. We are pushing our regional government to spend properly. We are kicking our other ministers to work properly and spend their money properly. I don't believe our economy will fail to create a faster growth.
As we sit here today, we're talking about slowing, perhaps, global growth, concerns about tariffs, lots of uncertainties, geopolitical tensions. So there are risks out there. So there's risk to your growth projection.
Yeah, there's risk too in the global economy. But our economy, 90% is driven by domestic demand. If I focus to maintain the domestic demand, then our economy should be okay despite the global economic condition.
Just to counter that part, yeah?
Yeah, let me tell you. In 2009, when everybody experienced a contraction in economic growth, Japan, US, Malaysia, Singapore, everybody experienced a negative economic growth. Our economy grew by 4.6% because at that time we maintained our domestic demand properly. We conduct fiscal expansion and also an expansionary monetary policy. So with that experience, I believe if we focus in maintaining domestic demand, we should be still okay despite the global economic growth. Even under the current condition, when the global condition was very uncertain, in 2005, our trade surplus grew by 35%. We are okay domestically and internationally.
It says time's up. I'm just going to close this session. Is there a message you would like to send to international investors who, by the sound of it, are misunderstanding the fundamentals of the country?
Well, I just want to say to the investor that present today here that Indonesia is serious in improving economic condition by activating every engine of growth available in the country. the fiscal engine, the monetary engine, the private sector engine, and at the same time we are improving also the investment climate in the country very seriously. I think 1 year from now, Indonesia will be a much better place to invest. So don't be too late in investing in the country. Don't hesitate. We are moving toward the right direction. Please continue to invest in the country.
Minister Purbaya, thank you so much for your time.
Stay updated. Info terkini masih banyak. Jangan lupa subscribe, like, dan share YouTube official OKZone. Dan selengkapnya ada di okezone.com.